Imagine your worst nightmare happening. You find out your husband is trying to kill you. Yeah, seriously. This is the story of Noela Rukundo. In this video, I'm going to give you all the details of this unbelievable story and one relationship lesson we can learn from this to improve our lives. But before we do, hi, I'm Victor Dream. My mission is to help us grow and attract the relationship of our dreams by learning from powerful stories like this one. Now let's get into it. According to ABC Australia, Noela Rukundo was living in Melbourne, Australia with her husband named Belenga Kalala. That's a hell of a name. The couple had reportedly been together for years and were raising a large family together. Then in 2015, Noela received devastating news. Her stepmother had passed away, so she traveled back home to Burundi in Africa. I had to look up where Burundi was. I was like, oh my God, wow. I ain't heard of that country. She went to Burundi to attend this funeral and to be with family. But what Noela didn't know was that this trip was about to get even more heartbreaking and change her life forever. Noela went with herself, and it appears her husband stayed in Australia. And according to reports, while staying in the hotel, her husband called her on the phone and suggested that she step outside for some fresh air. Nothing unusual, of course, nothing suspicious, at least not yet. Moments later, as Noela is outside getting that fresh air, a whole bunch of armed men reportedly approach her and force her into a vehicle. Damn. Imagine the fear. You're already grieving your stepmother dying. You're in another country and you don't know where you're being taken to. And I'm sure she didn't even know if she would ever come home or see her family and kids again. And according to reports, the men eventually brought her to another location where they held her hostage. Then came the moment that changed everything. According to Noela's account, the men called someone on the phone, and Noela immediately recognized that voice. It was her husband. She was like, According to reports, she heard him instruct the men to kill her. Yes, her husband, the man she built a life with, the man that she trusted, the man that she married. According to interviews, Noela said she then fainted after hearing this conversation. And honestly, I would do the same thing because this betrayal hurts differently when it's coming from someone that you would never expect and they attack you. It's crazy. We now got to start watching out for our family because not everyone who says they love us actually do. But surprisingly, something wild happened. The kidnappers decided not to kill her. Some reports suggest that the kidnappers had a personal connection with Noela's family and couldn't bring themselves to carry that out, no matter how much the husband paid them. And because of that decision, Noela got a second chance at life. Yes, girl, yes. It appears the kidnappers still took that money, though, and had him thinking that they finished the job. So Noela then heads back to Australia. Can you imagine her looking out the window, replaying everything, all the betrayal, the hurt, the anger, the confusion? But Noela had a plan. She was like, I'm not going to give you a text. I'm not going to send you an email. Oh, we're going to make this a big bang. Apparently, as she was flying to Australia, her husband was setting up a funeral. Noela was like, I'm going to surprise your ass. So she shows up to the funeral and says, surprise, I'm alive. Oh my God, imagine if you were one of her family members and children, like the gasps in the room. Crazy business. This could be a whole movie, okay? And right after she surprised everyone, reports share that the authorities were contacted and an investigation happened. And according to reports, her husband Belenga later pleaded guilty to incitement to murder, and he was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Woo! Yes. In my opinion, I think he should spend the rest of his life in prison because he tried to take the life of his wife. But okay, something is better than nothing. I'm so glad that their multiple children get to still have a mother. Unfortunately, they lost a father because he's weird and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But yeah, a good ending. Now, what can we learn from this story to improve our lives? Lesson number 1, be careful who you marry because this is the most important decision you'll ever make. It isn't career choice or what city you move to. No, marriage, because the wrong partner can impact every area of your life, your finances, your confidence, your mental health, your peace, and even your life. And stories like this should remind us to be even extra diligent about red flags when we're dating someone and thinking about making them our future partner. Let's look at their character. Let's not allow chemistry and attraction and butterflies cloud our judgment. We get to look at green flags like shared values, integrity, emotional stability, authenticity, how they handle conflict. Do they have anger issues? These are all things we get to look at because when the honeymoon phase ends, the excitement ends, we get to see who people truly are when we actually are married to them. They can't hide anymore. And so if their character shows that they're dishonest, manipulative, controlling behavior, explosive anger, lack of accountability, gaslighting, narcissism, we get to run for the hills. We cannot build a life and risk everything by being with a chaotic parasite like a man like this. Comment below your thoughts on this situation. What lesson did you learn? And follow for more videos like this. Mwah.